Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars franchise seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about their new movies and TV shows that are currently in development by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, here we are, it is the beginning of 2021, it's January, a lot of fans are very much, excited about what's to come for The Bad Batch, which is a new animated TV series taking place after Order 66. We've also got the Book of Boba Fett this year, Visions, and of course next year we got the Kenobi series, Mandalorian Season 3, and a lot more to come as well. Now, Dave Filoni and George, as well as Jon Favreau, are really trying to do everything in their power to really bring Star Wars back to the way it used to be before 2012. And like I've said before in the past, that is going to take a high success rate and a lot of time and effort to get to that point, at least a minimum of 3 years, to really turn Star Wars completely around, where they are able to convince a majority of fans that things are now okay and fine. The Mandalorian Season 2 finale already did that by grabbing a chunk of lost Star Wars fans and bringing them back in, which is good, because it at least gives Star Wars a bit of leverage right now of what's going to happen with the future TV shows within this year and next year, alright? So with that being said, of course, everything to do with Kathleen Kennedy, we do know that she actually caused a lot of issues over the past couple of years. However, now that The Mandalorian Season 3 is currently in development, many fans around the world have been excited of what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have to offer for Star Wars. It's described that recently Kathleen Kennedy took part in an interview after the Season 2 finale of Mandalorian premiered, where she was able to admit the truth about Star Wars and her mistakes. Kathleen Kennedy went on to state that she realizes now that what the fans actually love with characters like Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker, and that she admits that she was completely unaware of just how important these characters were to the hardcore fans that made the franchise so successful by George. Kennedy goes on to state that she feels that fans have a right to feel let down over the result from The Last Jedi's version of Luke, and that they could have really improved Luke Skywalker in that film if they had more knowledge of what the fans enjoyed back then in 2016 when Ryan was filming the movie. Kathleen Kennedy also admits that it was her fault of what happened with the box office results from Solo: A Star Wars Story, and that it had nothing to do with the film frequency issue, as they initially thought. So let's stop right there for 1 second. Now, what I'm proud about this is the fact that they are completely throwing that theory in the trash, that Solo: A Star Wars Story's box office results failing terribly had anything to do with a film frequency issue. That was not the case. So Kathleen Kennedy at least realizes this now. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the fans having a major problem with The Last Jedi, and it also had to do with Kathleen Kennedy herself firing the directors midway, if not more than midway through production of the movie, before getting Ron Howard on board to reshoot roughly 80% of the film, which really set back Disney millions upon millions of dollars. Now, with that being said, of course, alright, Kathleen Kennedy, of how she also addressed of how she just now realizes of how important characters like Luke and Ahsoka are to the fans, I think that this just goes to show us that either A, Kathleen Kennedy knew all along and just did not care and is trying to save her own image, or B, she legitimately did not know how important Luke was to the franchise. I'm going to go with A on this one, because obviously, Kathleen Kennedy knew what she was doing by bringing back the original cast. If you look at the sequel trilogy, the main reason as to why fans were so excited is because you had Luke, Han, and Leia coming back into the mix. So she, for sure, knew of how important the characters from the original trilogy really were for the fans overall, and even the animated shows out there like the Clone Wars and Rebels. So, apart from that, given that we have Jon and Dave giving everything they got for Star Wars, alright? They're doing everything in their power to really make Star Wars the best that it can be. Even Bob Iger talked about this at the premiere of Episode 9, that they are now just realizing exactly what kind of potential they really have for Star Wars and exactly what they can really do on Disney Plus and for movies coming out in theaters. They have a bright future. The only thing that I think is going to be a very, very controversial show is Star Wars The Acolyte, which is, by the way, fully supervised by Kathleen Kennedy, creatively speaking, as well as by Leslie Headland, which I don't believe is a good fit for Star Wars. That's just my opinion. If you guys disagree, that's fine, but that's just my opinion on that. So overall, you know, I think that obviously Kathleen Kennedy, it comes off that she's more so trying to save her image rather than being, you know, genuine about this confession of hers about mishandling Star Wars and not realizing of how important these characters really were. I believe that she always did realize that, to tell you guys the truth. So, with that being said, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.